Good evening, students. This is Tuhin sir again, and I am back with the second video on friction. Specifically, given that mu s and mu k, as you can see, find the acceleration of a body. This is a question from one of the books recommended for JEE, and going forward, I will be going through a lot of problems which typically are asked in JEE, and where there is a propensity for students to make some mistakes. In this particular question, there have been students I have been teaching for 15 years who got it right in the first time itself, and there are some who made this an elementary mistake. So let's watch this video carefully and make sure that given such data, you do not make this mistake. So the data is that this is a 2 kg block, so mg is equal to 20 Newton. Normal force by the surface on the block is 20 Newton upwards. You have been asked to pull the block with an external force of 20 newtons towards the right. Mu s given is 0.6. Mu k is 0.4, as you can see. The question that is asked is find the friction force and find the acceleration of the block. Okay. So we know that friction will oppose relative motion between the block and the surface with which it is in contact as long as possible, and friction static limiting in this particular problem will be 0.6 into 20. So 0.6 into 20 will be 12 Newton towards the left. Fine. So 12 Newton towards the left is not enough to keep the body at rest relative to the surface with which it is in contact. So what happens? If you recall from what we had discussed in the first lecture, mu k takes over. A common mistake that people do, questions that have been asked is find the friction force. So friction force will not be 12 Newton because 12 Newton is not enough to stop the body moving towards the right, and mu k takes over. So the friction force will be mu k. Fk will be mu k n, which becomes 0.4 into 20, which is 8 Newton towards the left. So what you have is a force of 20 Newton towards the right and a friction force of 8 Newton towards the left. Now the common mistake that students do is the second question, find the acceleration of the body. The common mistake what is done is the net force, instead of taking 8 towards the left, what many students have done is that take 20 minus 12, which is 8 Newton towards the right, which is not the case because static has lost the case. Now it's 8 Newton towards the left, 20 towards the right, which gives us a net force of 20 minus 8, which is 12 Newton towards the right. And what does the second law of Newton say? The second law of Newton is the vector sum of the forces on the body, which in this case is 12 Newton, is equal to mass of that body into acceleration of that body. Here we have just one body, so we don't have to think of many bodies, one placed on top of the other, etc., which anyway we are going to cover. So the acceleration in this particular case will be the net sum of the forces will be 20 minus 8, which is 12, towards the right. Mass of the body is 2, so acceleration becomes 12 by 2, which is 6 meter per second square, which is a pretty big number. Acceleration of 6 meter per second square is a pretty big number. So students, next time we are going to discuss friction on bodies placed in an inclined plane. What is angle of repose? What is repose in the first case? Why is it called angle of repose? And then discuss that, and then typical questions where again there is a high probability of committing a mistake. So thank you for watching today's video. If you have liked the video, please don't forget to press the subscribe or the like button, which will encourage me to create more and more videos, and particularly with an eye on the JEE problems, where students tend to commit mistakes unwittingly. Thanks very much for watching.